Welcome everyone to another Throwback Thursday, and it's a battle report this time, taking us back to 2021 for a Rangers of Shadowdeep battle report, the lower level of Tor Varden. After the encounter at the bridge, you and your companions were able to slip past a couple of other gnoll patrols and reach Tor Varden. There were no guards posted outside, and very little indication of anyone inside. Then a muffled scream came from somewhere in the tower. It was a sign both good and ill. There is at least one man alive in Tor Varden, but you might already be too late to save him. You will need to move fast. So the second scenario of the second mission from the Ranger Deluxe Edition rulebook, the brave party of Lorelei enters the lower level of the beacon tower of Tor Varden. Once again I changed the gnolls with models of Mordor orcs to remain better in my Middle-earth atmosphere and gaming. And disfigured Gutmax makes a lovely flesh golem should he be encountered. For the rooms, I instead opted to make the floors all grassy and green, the idea being that the floors long have been reclaimed by nature in this ancient tower. Here and there some stonework remains. To border all the rooms, I printed about 50 wall sections and added some dungeon tiles in corners to show some of the old floors remaining. So the table has been set up, and now it's time to enter the perils of the tower and discovers what it still holds or what has transpired there. We set up our new adventure for Rangers of Middle-earth. As in the first scenario, the vulture didn't fly off the table. I was eligible for a stealth and a picklock roll, which my ranger Lorelei himself would undertake. He of course blundered already on the stealth roll, so the first room would be on alarm modus. He entered together with the archer Theomir and his kinsman Iramir, a man-at-arms, as well as the noble knight Cuchulainn. Turn 1. The first room has been revealed to be the shaman workshop, and a menacing flesh golem is lying on the table next to the orc shaman. This shaman has performed a dark spell, meaning Theomir has to clear this room with a -2 fight as he failed his will test. Making use of Lorelei's group's activation, the ranger, the man-at-arms and the knight all charge orc warriors opposing them. Lorelei draws for no damage, but the other two lose their combats, Cuchulainn getting wounded for 4 in the process. The orc shaman then charges my brave ranger and overpowers the elf, but no damage is inflicted. Theomir fails to put an arrow in one of the beastly fighters though. Turn 2. Again group activating, Lorelei, Cuchulainn and Iramir once again charge the orcs as Karanyak and Rakmel enter the beacon tower. Cuchulainn gravely wounds an orc, but Iramir can't find a weak spot and suffers 5 wounds in return. Lorelei puts his sword through the hides of the orc shaman, wounding him gravely, but alas, not fatally. The shaman retaliates, but Lorelei dodges his clumsy staff and decapitates the shaman, preventing the flesh golem from animating. The other orcs continue dueling, but Cuchulainn strikes his opponent down as Iramir suddenly sees an opening and slays his foe outright with a critical blow. In turns 3 and 4, Theomir opens the door to the next room. It is revealed to be the storage room. Going inside, Lorelei immediately shoots an arrow in the chest of an orc, severely wounding the beast. Theomir follows his lead, but his shot unfortunately goes wide. Rakmel charges in and spears the wounded orc, but is set upon by the second orc warrior. However, the bulky beast impales himself on the spear, suffering 4 wounds, as the others enter and start making way to the remaining orcs and the treasure lying behind. Turn 5, Lorelei charges the wounded orc, but wins without doing any damage. Rakmel joins in and scores a pure hat-trick as he puts his spear through the orc's throat. However, his luck runs out as another orc descends upon him and smashing him down to within a single thread of his life. Iramir wounds his opponent though, as Theomir, after causing a lined wound on another orc, and Karanyak move towards the treasures, while Cuchulainn positions himself to come to the aid of his beleaguered friends. Turn 6, Lorelei charges the healthy orc, and does 7 wounds him in as Ragnar steps forward. He fails to do the kill, however, only knocking off a further 2 wounds, while Cuchulainn locks in combat with yet another orc. Orcs charge Rakmel and Iramir, and Rakmel is cut down by his opponent, though Iramir lightly wounds the other. Theomir shoots one down on his way to the door, as Karanyak grabs a treasure token. In turn 7, firing at an orc, Lorelei plants an arrow through its eye, killing it. While Iramir grabs the second treasure token, Theomir opens the door and reveals the armory behind it, under the watchful eyes of my ranger-to-be Thorin. Missing his shot, Lorelei enters the armory, closely followed by Theomir. The archer has better aim, knocking an orc down for 8. The orcs engage the brave Cuchulainn, who has stepped forward to present himself as the closest target, but as they have no actions left, the combat remains locked. Turn 9, in an unfortunate charge, Lorelei slips and suffers 10 damage as a result of his ill-attempted charge. Karanyak decides to be brave and runs past his companions, again present himself as the closest target for the orc archer in the back of the room. However, he quickly regisses as the black-shafted arrow smashes into his chest, knocking him out. Turns 10 and 11 saw Lorelei and Cuchulainn engaged in combat with their orc opponents. The brave knight critically wounding his, while Lorelei first got some wounds from the beast's wild swing. The orc archer wounds Theomir as Iramir uncovers some golden beer. In the final turn, Lorelei casts heal on himself. Cuchulainn charges and cuts down the orc beast, ending the scenario. The lower level has been cleared. And so we move on to the aftermath. This didn't go too bad. Surely the guardsmen and the arcanis have been cut down, but made full recoveries, meaning they'll start the final scenario on 8 wounds. All the other companions healed back to full strength, while my ranger will only be 1 down for the top of the tower. This could have been way worse. On an experience level, Lorelei totaled 37 XP. The orc shaman yielded 5, with an additional 5 for preventing the golem from animating. For the rest, 9 orcs were cut down for 27 experience points. The 2 treasure tokens yielded a potion of restoration, which Iramir kept for himself, while Lorelei gained an amulet of leadership. Okay, the last one is not much useful at the moment, but it is something. And so the second scenario of Tor Varden has been completed. And that means that onwards to the grand finale. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.